Welcome to the break-in commentary, behind the scenes. I'm the director, co-writer, co-producer, Cole McCormick. I made a movie. When I think about the main inspirations that led me to make this, I mean, for one, it was a real thing. It's a real event. I was really broken into. I was home. It was the middle of the night, like 3 a.m, and it was one of the most surreal experiences of my life. But at the same time, nothing happened. Like, I was totally fine. I wasn't harmed in any way. Nothing was broken. Nothing was stolen. Just a really strange moment. Very interesting interaction I had with this person, with Jose, who I have no knowledge of this person. I have no information. But this moment happened. And the night that it happened, I wasn't expecting that. Of course, like, you never expect weird things to happen to you or bad things to happen to you. This thing was sort of like therapy. After the real event happened, I was flabbergasted. As you can imagine, as anyone would be. I had work the next day. I went into work. I told everybody. It's a moment you tell. It's a moment that you live through, so you want to talk about it. And I started noticing a very similar string of questions that people would ask me. Why was he there? What was he trying to do? Why did you shake his hand? Who do you think you are? Like, different people started asking the same questions. And I started to think about, like, just like the movie of it. I always think of my life as a movie. Like, what is the scene? Like, any interaction I have, like, I just feel like that's a scene. I think of, like, the camera composition in real life when I'm, like, talking to people. So automatically I was already thinking about, like, what is the movie of this? And I realized that the questions people were asking me, I could actually just do that with a friend of mine. I can have that conversation at a table with my buddy Ben, and he can be my sort of straight man. He can ground me, and he can call bullshit when bullshit needs to be called, and he can help me come to, like, the conclusion that I don't really know who I am, but I did something good. So that's really what this thing is about. It's really just trying to understand a weird moment that I went through and trying to understand myself, my place in the world, my place in space, and just how do I see myself? How do you see yourself? Do you see yourself as the hero? Do you see yourself as a good person, as a loving person? And what happens when that identity of yourself is put into a stressful situation? Because that's really when your identity is on the line. That's really when your morals are on the line, when you are literally face to face with potential danger and chaos. And I went through that. I went through this. During the writing portion, talking to Ben, trying to figure out what's my motive. In real life, I'd watched a really just positive documentary, and that was my mindset. But Ben brought up how I love superheroes. And I grew up on superheroes. I was 11 years old when Iron Man came out in 2008. So my entire film world, my entire cinematic realm has been led by superheroes. And going in for the handshake, that's like some weird, like, I think I'm Captain America move, you know? That's just strange. So Ben pointed that out, and that's why we wanted to lead with that, to lead with the superhero-esque of the moment. And I think that really works because with the music specifically, and the music is so good, shout out to Joey Frivola. It's just so good. He really went in with the, like, Spider-Man-esque-ness of the whole thing. Danny Elfman, particularly in the moment where I shake his hand. That is, like, our big hero moment. And it's just, like, silly because whenever you hear that sort of, like, rising brass, that rising sound, you know, it's like, oh man, here it comes. And then it's like I shake his hand and then he runs out of my room and nothing happens. It's this buildup and then it's a drop. And I think that's what works. It's just random and silly and funny. When I think of myself as an artist. I think of myself as an expresser. I think of myself as someone who is just trying to absorb and reproduce my experiences and the world at large. And this seemed to be one of those moments that I felt like I needed to express. After the real night happened, and for the last like couple of years now, or it's about to be 2 years, I have had issues sleeping, I've had issues going to sleep, I've had issues staying asleep. And I don't know if I can put these issues in the category of PTSD specifically, but I definitely experienced a moment of trauma in my life, and this process has been therapy. The writing, the talking about it, the just deciding what to do for what scenes, and really just like thinking, like I'm composing a scene, I'm composing a shot, but which is like creative, but it's all coming from this real event that happened that was incredibly scary for me. So this recreation of this scary moment has really helped out. And one of the biggest reasons why I wanted to make this specifically is because of the year 2020. Everything's locked down. I'm in LA. I don't know when I'll be able to get a job. I don't know when life will be somewhat normal. I have no idea. And when this whole thing was beginning, I realized that I had an opportunity to create. People who called themselves creative had and have an opportunity to create. How we went about that, you know, that's really up to like each artist's life, you know, because you don't really need, if you're a painter, you don't need other people around you to paint. But for me as a director, I needed people around me. So going through the process of meeting with people, figuring out when to film, not wanting to film while there's still discrepancies about how safe it is. Luckily, we were able to film this in parts. We filmed a little bit of it in August 2020, and then we took a break, and then we came back in September. And I think that was the right move for us because we were able to just process the whole pandemic and a good chunk of 2020, I guess. When we started filming in August, a lot of my friends, we weren't living in fear as much. And I think that's a big thing for a lot of people right now, especially in areas of bigger cities. There's just a lot of fear. Fear of a lot of things, of course, but the underlining base is just general fear and anxiety. And luckily, the friends that I have around me, we weren't in that mindset. We weren't in that I'm afraid of doing anything right now mindset. So we just did it, and we wanted to just go for it. And I'm so happy for everyone that I'm so happy that people were willing to do this, and people were in the same mindset as I am. I really have so much love for everybody who helped me out, to Soren, to Shannon, to Walter, to Gerardo, Max, Matt, Ben, Logan, Joey, everybody who was willing to be creative, everyone who was just willing to be a part of this thing and willing to make something in the middle of the most chaotic and stressful time in the world. I couldn't be happier, and I couldn't be more proud of all of us. And I really believe this will lead to more things within our lives, within our own careers. There's so much positivity around this. There's so much energy within myself, and I feel like something will happen. Something is happening. The journey is unfolding, you know, like what will happen next? I have no idea, but I have high hopes that it's going to be good. I never thought this is how I would make a movie. I never thought I would make my first like official short in the middle of a pandemic in my apartment. But that's life, and you gotta take the opportunities where they come. There's just so much love for everyone who helped me out, everyone who was willing to listen to my story and to be excited to make something and to be willing to make something in the middle of all of this. Just so much love for all of you. Just thank you so much.